So today, guys, we're going to be looking at some of the best Fashion Week shows. I came ready with notes. Hey guys, my name's Caleb. I post luxury and lifestyle related content every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. If that's something you're into, I'm assuming it is, like you're here and all. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Consider joining the membership. We have a really good engaged community, super fun Discord, member meetups. Check it out, 100% worth it. Also, I'd like to introduce Jamie from Luxe Petite.
Hey.
I'm going to make sure her channel's linked down below because we're doing kind of a collabed effort here. We're going to look at a few fashion shows here on my channel. Make sure to head over to hers if you haven't seen hers yet. Check out hers. And I think we've got some pretty good shows picked out.
I think so.
And we're both feeling pretty spicy,
Yeah.
so buckle up. Anyway, so the shows that I've picked today, I've picked out 4 to share with you guys. And I tried to kind of split it up. So I did a couple from France. I mean, obviously, hello. We're an Hermès household around here now. I picked one from London and then a really good one of my absolute favorite ready-to-wear and runway designers from Italy. So let's dive in. So first up, we're going to be taking a look at the House of Hermès. I have never seen a better show. Like, that's a broad statement. At least this year, I have not seen a better show compared to the Spring-Summer Hermès 24.
That's a big statement,
It's
Caleb.
a big statement.
Okay.
So a little bit about me. I love landscaping. I love ornamental grasses. So with the fact that they did their show, like walking through a meadow.
I'm in a meadow.
You're in a
that's
meadow.
I can't get over that we are literally in a meadow right now.
In a meadow, we're like bird hunters, like watchers.
Fantastic.
But what I really loved about the show, so aside from the meadow, it's really kind of an allegory for like life's tempestuous seasons, if you will. I cheated. I watched the show last night, you guys. What I loved most about this show is like the common thread of the spring-summer season throughout the entire show. So we kind of start out, all the looks are monochromatic, of course, and we start out in a beautiful shade, almost oxblood, burgundy, rouge H almost, if you will. And we slowly work our way to brighter colors through the peak of summer. We end summer with bright whites and creams. And then we end the season in browns
Love that.
as we head back into fall for next year.
Love a good brown. Red is the color of the season.
It's funny you say that because I've noticed not only with this show, but a couple of others that we're going to see today, I think red is going to be a big recurring theme that we see next year. You see a lot of like deeper shades of brown like Hermès has done. I think it was J.W. Anderson maybe showed quite a bit of red. We saw some red over at Burberry, and then we can't forget the set for the Louis Vuitton show with the orange. I think warm colors are going to be pretty big next year. Not only did I love the setting of the show, but we also saw 10 new bags from the house.
Ooh.
Of course, we saw some rested designs come back, such as like the plume bag, but make sure to come back later, guys. I'm going to do a whole video on the new bags over at Hermès. Super excited for it. There's some good stuff coming our way, and I'm literally so jazzed. But a few more bags. I think we had 10 in total. We had everything from like the resurrected plume bag all the way up to like a brand new huge tote.
I love all the neutrals. Of course
Of course
I do.
you do. Yeah. Neutral
I don't
vibes,
know.
Jamie 100.
Yeah. I was like, I would wear that.
Yeah, and what I like too about it is there's a lot of juxtaposition with like the woven knitwear. You have like draped leather. You have structured suits, but not overly structured, but they're still beautifully tailored. I think that was also another big recurring theme for this year's Fashion Week. Everything was very wearable. I think in years past we've seen like a lot of costumes almost, but like, I mean, truly everything on this runway is pretty much wearable. So next up, guys, we have the House of Louis Vuitton, and listen, I think a lot of us, I don't want to speak for everybody in the community, but me, myself personally, if it's outside of the Marc Jacobs era LV, I've kind of written it off. You know, I hate to say it, like I still want a capucines, I still have the little trunk bags, but for some reason, like I haven't really been into LV, but recently, if you guys watched my vlog a couple weeks ago when we went out shopping with Shy Guy, fell in love with quite a few bags, and this kind of sealed the deal. I'm like, okay, maybe don't write off LV yet, stick with it. I loved this show, quite honestly. And I forget who it was, I'll pop them down in the description, but they said that the best way to describe this collection, someone said wearable fashions, and Nicolas Ghesquière said hold my beer. Like he delivered on it. And I think the recurring theme, again, we're seeing warm tones with this orange set, the backdrop, the runway, everything is in orange. And what I love about this show is that they were going for contemporary wearable travel pieces. With the accessories, they also kept with that idea of adaptability. So they can be on the shoulder, they can be crossbody, they can be, you know, worn from the hand. And they've also magnified a lot of the emblems too, which was kind of cool. We saw a lot more of like bigger emblematic LV elements, which I thought was pretty neat. I think a lot of the shoes though, quite honestly, are very reminiscent of the Marc Jacobs era, especially if you think back to that runway where he did like the nurses.
I love the white shoe though.
Yes.
I think that's great.
Yes. And another big theme we saw in the Hermes show, we're seeing it here again with LV. I think playing with texture is going to be a big thing for next year too. So once again, we're seeing a lot of nice loose fitting knitwear paired with structured jackets, paired with leathers and pattern. Playing with patterns is going to be huge next year too, I think.
I just see so much like the patterns, like you said, and like the silhouettes coming, a lot of volume
Yes.
coming through the runway.
Yes. And I love that. I like that we're kind of moving away from like a more structured, kind of skinny fit look to volume, like you said. That's going to be a big thing for next year as well. Wearable. Yeah. Yeah. The older I get, the more I just want to be in like something comfy that I can like move in and not feel restricted. And I think it's neat that the design houses are really kind of listening to that as a whole and introducing that into their looks for next year.
In your LV comfy wear, right?
Chill vibes. So next up we have the House of Burberry, which we are both super excited for the new Burberry. Daniel Lee, like hello, like we saw what he did with Bottega Veneta. I'm excited to see what he can do with Burberry. And this is his second show with the house, of course, and he nailed the first one, the Roses Clutch, which you're obsessed with,
love it.
the night bag that I want. What I loved about this show is it feels very intimate. It's tinted, of course, which Burberry's done before in the past, but this time Daniel Lee takes us to Highbury Park. He likes to do immersive shows. He likes to take people out of their normal elements and like stick them somewhere they may not necessarily have visited in the first place. He's done it again with this show. Another way that this show has also been described in just Daniel Lee's tenure so far in general is that Burberry has rediscovered their playful side. I think with Riccardo Tisci, of course, we had a lot of like plywoody kind of feel, like natural canvas, and we're getting back to like that beautiful luxe English feel that Burberry was known for during the Bailey era. Now with this show, what I really love the most, we're seeing a lot of updated classics. We're seeing, trenches with popped collars and dropped waists. We're seeing fun, playful patterns such as like the chain, the status print. We've seen flowers, strawberries, cherries, and he's still with it with that updated Nova check as well. And I think he's nailed it.
Definitely elevated, I think, with the infusion of color.
Yes.
It's just something we haven't seen from Burberry.
Not in a while. It's been a couple of years. What I really love too is like Daniel Lee, he's great at clothing, don't get me wrong, but accessories I think is his power play. And we're seeing it again with the updated bags. So we're getting away from that TB logo or like the Tory Burch tuberculosis bag, whatever you want to call it, save space. And we're getting back to like really neat elemental hardware, which he did at Bottega Veneta beautifully. And shoes. The Roses shoes, have you seen that one yet?
I haven't. That's the one, I know you've been telling me about it, but I've been so fixated on the rose clutch. Yeah. But I feel like if I got the rose, I'd probably want the shoes.
You'd have to. And you can't not have them. And again, like I said with the last two shows, we're seeing a lot of juxtaposition with knitwear, with draped fabrics, structured coats, and I think, again, it's all going to be about pattern, warm colors, and as we're going to see in the next show, chunky jewelry. I loved the Hermes show, do not get me wrong, don't get it mixed up, but I might have liked the Giorgio Armani a little bit better.
Oh,
safe space.
Okay.
I have never seen a better show. Like, that's a broad statement. At least this year, I have not seen a better show compared to the Spring-Summer Hermes 24. So what I loved most about this show is it is truly artistry in motion. So you kind of start out the show, we're on the sands, right? And as we're moving through the different looks, we have the music, which starts, I think, a little bit brighter, a little bit more promising at the beginning of the show. As we move through the colors of the looks, we start to see that, we're entering the water, we're leaving the sands, heading down into the water, deeper into the water. And even the music kind of like gives you that feeling that you're underwater. And then as you end the show, you come back up and then you see the surf with the final model. Perfection.
Beautiful.
Like the other shows that we've seen today, we're going to see a lot of different play on textures, patterns, and not so much the warm colors once we get past like the sand looks here at the beginning.
I love the jewelry. I mean, look at the bracelets.
Yes.
I will say that Armani, you did bracelets right here.
You did, God.
You did. Seriously, I think they hit it home when it came to jewelry. Talk about statement.
Yep.
Even the necklace,
that big chunky one with like yes. What I like too about this, again, we're on that kick with wearability. These models are all just in boots through the entire show.
I noticed that. But it doesn't distract from the over, and that's the other. Look at this lucite bags.
Yes.
I noticed that it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
I like it. I know lucite. I'm like, who knew?
Lucite for 24.
I'm a fan.
To say the least. And like all the embroidery, the different elements, and gosh, some of those necklaces are so freaking cool. And what I like too about the textiles on a lot of these, it almost looks like the sun dancing on the water. Almost like he was clearly influenced by water. You know, he has that beautiful yacht he actually hosted a party on before the show started.
I think the blues and the greens though are so complementary. And I think out of all the various colors, the blue and green mix. I'm not naturally a big blue.
No.
I know you are into
yeah.
blues, but I think that might be my favorite. Love this jacket.
This jacket with all the, yes.
One of our picks of the show has got to be that jacket.
Perfection. And he does tailoring so well. Like he got his reputation in the 80s for the Armani suit, and he's kind of still carried that throughout his career, paired with beautiful colors. Like you said, I'm honestly surprised that you like the blue and green so much. I figured you'd be more of the sand part.
I thought so too. But
Yeah.
then the way he did it so well in this, that I was like, yes. And then we get deeper into the water, but I totally a fan of the blue and green.
And what I really enjoyed too about the looks, so the models, they all had that beautiful, gorgeous makeup, perfect hair.
It was beautiful.
It was almost giving me like an actress from like an Indiana Jones style movie, like just like that actor, like the explorer kind of vibe, especially with like the boots,
the first look,
the finger
with
wave
the gold.
curls. Yes, perfection all the way through. And I loved too, the last model, she was very playful on the runway. It was giving me kind of like a throwback to like supermodels of like the 80s and 90s, like a Halston show, just like pirouetting down the runway. Armani, he's one of my favorite designers. I love it.
An icon.
Icon, for sure. Thank you all for joining us today over here. We looked at Hermès, we did a little Burberry, we ended with Armani. I think we saw some good stuff here.
What was your favorite?
Oh gosh, don't
I know.
ask.
I had to ask.
I can't pick. Ooh. So it's going to be between either the Hermès, probably Armani. I'm not going to lie. When it comes to runway and ready to wear.
I had a feeling you're really like loving that.
I love my Armani. So I'm going to have to give it to Armani.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still wowed by Burberry.
Right?
I know. I can't get over it. And I want that rose clutch one of these days.
You get the rose clutch, I'll get the night bag.
Yes.
And then we'll rock them in the city.
Yeah, look at us.
I love it.
Doing our Burberry.
Yes. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us over here. Make sure, head over to Jamie's channel. We're going to have some more reaction videos over on hers, and I can't wait for you guys to see what she picked.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.